Good morning, everyone. Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Let's talk about current market conditions. I've started out with on the index page here, which is located right here, a couple of things I want to point out today. One of the valuable features of Traders Pro is as you start to see market breadth start to shift, that means which stocks or the number of stocks that are starting to shift from downtrends or sell signals to holds to buy signals. And what we're seeing currently, we're seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is currently sitting the buy-sell ratio. It's a little bit skewed because there's only one sell, but as they move over into the hold condition, which is a trendless condition, it doesn't fill into that ratio. So we've got 18 that have moved back into that uptrend or buy signal. We've got one that sells. So this is a pretty significant area. We haven't seen this in months. It's been 4, 5, 6 months since we've seen this. So we're starting to see a significant shift starting to take place here in some really major players going from holds back to buys. I'll show you a couple of more examples here. Let me delete that off of there. Let's jump back over to the market trend conditions. Again, this is such a slow moving indicator that it's typically where you want to start your day. Traders Pro uses a top-down approach, which means what is the large market trend? What's my bias? What direction should I be focused on? So this is a very slow-moving indicator. So it takes a while for it to happen. In fact, you'll notice that we've gone down a little bit here on our current trend because it is lagging. It'll take a little bit of time for this current stagnation and current slight uptrend to be calculated in this real long-term trend. This is a 20-year chart right here. This is a 1-year chart up here, but you can see it's flattening. It's still kind of trending lower, but our shorter term, we're starting to see that bounce that we've been talking about here for a little while. Really nothing of note on this quite yet. Everything is just kind of stuck in this hold, non-trending situation, or it's trending but just a flat sideways type trend. The buy-sell ratio, on the other hand, is a shorter term signal. This is a 1-year chart. We've talked about this the last couple of days where we're sitting just almost at that break even, which creates a buy-sell ratio at 1 when it starts to cross over. And so we are churning out this bottom. This was September, so September 26th, so about a month ago was this low. Early September, so about the last 2 months we've been working on this bottom. One chart that I wanted to look at here also was Microsoft. So Microsoft, as I mentioned, some of these Dow stocks starting to turn and starting to give that signal as we're starting to reverse that trend back up. Major bear markets can sometimes trigger false signals, but when we get some of these big heavy hitters that are starting to shift, it is significant. One other place to look is when you go to, you can actually on this index tab go over here to this Dow button. And you can actually see some of the actual players in the indice, which ones are leading. We've talked about these before. Obviously, Chevron and Merck are going to be the leaders because you have Chevron, which is in that oil and energy space, that has done fantastic for the last year, up 47% so far this year. Even if we were to scroll this and to scan, you can see which some of the stocks that have done pretty well so far this year. Not very many of them, but they're ranked. They're sorted by rank. So the strongest stocks are always going to show up at the top here on any of these sorts for the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, and the Dow. Those are going to be listed there. So you're starting to see some of these signals starting to shift back to the upside. Caterpillar, McDonald's, International Business, IBM, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola. Apple has yet to do that. It's still sitting at a hold, but starting to shift here as well. So as confirmation type traders, we're waiting just a little bit for additional confirmation on some of those stocks, but the indice as a whole is starting to shift. So be aware of that is taking place. Those are kind of our market conditions. It's a slower type process, but as you utilize some of these tools, it's going to start to signal and trigger some different ideas of what's happening. Again, the sectors tab, you can look for those most recent or the strongest stocks that are moving. And again, still it's oil and energy, it's utilities, it's transportation, and some of these others that are rounding out the bottom are potentially starting to move as we start to see a market shift here in the overall situation of the market currently. If you're not a premium member and would like access to full access to all of these tools and links and be able to utilize this tool effectively, I've got a link for you below with a special offer. We look forward to having you. Have a great day.